Greetings and welcome back to Brick and Lantern. I know it's been some time since we last reviewed our Clipper quest, but I thought that now would be a great time to return back to the fold, get our Bricklink order together, and kind of just take a look at the progress we've made so far. This was my original vintage LEGO video, and it's still going on to this day. We are assembling the vintage Pirates Clipper quest after I received it at a thrift store not too long ago. I found it back in December and have since been working to reassemble all of the parts, so I think it's going to be a very, very fun video, and this one might be a little more chill compared to the last couple ones. I hope you guys have been enjoying these retro/vintage set review videos. Please let me know if you're interested in more content like this. I've gotten a lot more deals over time and a lot more interest on vintage LEGO sets, especially from the 80s and 90s. So if you want to see more of that, just let me know down below. But today we're taking a visit to everyone's favorite website, bricklink.com. We're going to be taking the parts that we crossed off from the last video's list, and we're going to be looking for the ones that are actually remaining. So already I've started the process here with this 2x1 plate with bar in black. Obviously this entire set is blue, black, yellow, and I think some white, I can't remember. But a lot of this process is just assembling actually a new wanted list so that everything, all the parts that we need will be going onto that list. This is a technique I learned not too long ago because I used to be adding individual parts to a list of sellers looking for what's this part? So you'd have 10 different sellers on Bricklink with essentially you're paying a nickel for every single piece and then $5 for shipping, so it adds up very quickly. Compared to now, what I do is actually make lists for the different builds I want to make. So you might have seen on the last slide, the Easy 8 Gundam is something that I'm looking to build. Another SD Gundam build similar to that Zaku, which should be in the corner of the screen now. But you put them all together, you take all the parts that you need for the build, you put it into a list, and then Bricklink will actually price out the best deals based on which sellers have most of your parts, and which sellers might be able to ship for less, and all these kinds of factors. So it takes a lot of the tedium out of the process, which I like a lot. And there are parameters to that, but we'll get to those later. So this is just the parts list that we had earlier when I was crossing everything off of our list. And I am just double checking all of them to make sure that we have the parts that we need to finish this build. There are a couple things that I'm not going to get right now, but we will talk about those when the time comes, because right now I'm just working on getting some headlights, getting some clippers, getting some flags, just kind of assembling the rest of our list right now as we continue. This order was surprisingly not as much as I thought it was going to be. And maybe that's because it's just old school system parts, you know. It's a headlight brick. You've seen them for 30 plus years now, and they're in every color under the sun. We're getting blue and black. Like, you can probably list the amount of sets that a blue and black headlight brick has come in before. So there's kind of a little bit of nervousness when it comes to getting things from Bricklink. I'm still getting used to the process. I only started parting out builds and parting out sets that I wanted not too long ago. My very first Bricklink order was actually for the Zaku 2. So the fact that we're going back now and the process has become so much easier with this set because I checked through all the pieces we need already and kind of just going through the motions of saying, yeah, I need this one, I need that one. Very simple process. As you get to grips with the site, I realized that the wanted list is so much more of a potent feature. If you're looking for parts or you're looking for builds or anything like that, using the wanted list saves so much time. I know I talked about it earlier, but this is the one thing that if you're watching this video and you use Bricklink or are thinking about using Bricklink, assembling a wanted list of the parts that you need or the sets that you want will aggregate them into the sellers that you need, or the sellers that will have the amount of product that you want. So instead of getting one seller with one thing and one seller with another thing, you are getting a list of sellers that might have all of the bricks you want, and you're only paying once for shipping. Here's another part that I was very nervous about, the 2x2 printed flag. There are two alternate versions of this, so I was kind of going back and forth as to which Imperial flag I wanted. This one's got a little bit of yellow on the inside, the print's a little different compared to this one, which is just straight up black, white, and blue. Decided that the black, white, and blue one is better. It fits with the set more, it sticks to the aesthetic of what we're building, similar to how we're keeping the non-firing cannons. I figured we should probably keep as much of the original pieces and the original parts as we can, even if they're not from this particular copy of the set. Like, you shouldn't be, in my view, if we're going to rebuild this vintage set, we shouldn't be substituting out parts that didn't originally come with the build. Just a close-up now on a couple of the last parts that we're going for. The lovely plate 2x2 corner, one of my favorite builds. I've been trying to work that into an SD Gundam somehow. It'll happen one day, but it's not happened yet today, so just another black 2x2 corner to add to the parts list. And these parts as well, I was worried were going to be very expensive. The boat hulls, because it's such a specialized piece. I mean, the price of the boat hull now isn't amazing. It goes for a few bucks, it's like $6 new and $2 used, which isn't great compared to what you'd be paying usually, but it's not the worst I've ever seen for a part, especially for this set, as we'll kind of get to in a minute when you see me looking up the sales. But bolt hull, $2. It's a large piece, specialized. I'm not surprised it's so much. And really, I'm not going to be angry about it. If we're going to reassemble this set, we need the boat hulls. And whoever's got them now, I hope they're doing well. I hope they're having a good time with them. But for me, no thanks. I don't think it's going to be happening this time. At least those original boat hulls, it would have been amazing to have them. But here, coming up, this is the part that I was like, no. $71 for a used cloth sail assembly. That's not going on the list, because that would make this lot extremely expensive. So we are going to go do something else. We'll make our own sails with some help of a friend of the show. We'll have them assist us to make sails, or we'll make sails ourselves. But we're not paying $71 for that. So now we're applying the order to the wanted list. This aggregates all of the bricks into a lot, and you can see all of the bricks have been found in 5,400 stores. It will line them up based on which bricks are in which inventories. So this place from brickfans.com has all the bricks that we need for a total of $21, and that's pretty much a steal compared to what I thought we were going to pay. You can change it to the continental North America, the United States, for shipping, etc. so on. So we will go and buy those bricks at some point before the review, which will be the next part of the Clipper quest. Now we're going to move on to the instruction manual. Not buying a new instruction manual, but I did go on rebrickable.com and found the original manual, and went to the printer shop to print it off myself. Instead of trying to use a PDF description, I wanted to make sure that we had the original manual in some form or fashion. This manual is really cool. I love the back page, I love the front page, and just the instructions are a lot different than what we're used to now, because there's no exact amount of pieces you're supposed to put in, so it's kind of more a little bit guesswork. But I love the illustrations. The classic Legoland gradient in the back, how the ship has been illustrated, where the figures have been placed. It's a very fun process, and even with the alt builds on the front, the back page, the art that's the background there, it's all so much fun. And I'm glad that I printed the instruction manual, because now when we're building the set next video, we'll actually be able to take it, put it together, flip through the instructions, and make it a more authentic experience compared to if we were doing it via PDF. And I think that in the end, as close to the authentic experience as we could get with the set, that's really the thing that I'm aiming for, as compared to saying, well, compromising in some places, even if it might make the build better, it's not exactly what I'm looking to do. 6274 deserves a little bit more respect from my world, and I think that the best way to respect it is to get as close to the original as we can. With the instructions in mind, the Bricklink order complete, I think now we are getting to the end of the video for today. The last part, obviously, will be ordering the pieces. That'll take place over the next month, but for now, I think our pirates are going to look over the ship they'll have soon enough, and we're going to head out for the night. Thank you so much for your support so far. I really appreciate the comments that you've been leaving, the bonkle jokes on the Bionicle videos. Everything has been so much fun. If you think I've earned it, please leave a subscription below, leave a comment, leave a like, share it with your friends, you know, all that fun YouTube stuff. I've really been so excited to make these videos for everyone, and I hope that you've all enjoyed it as much as I've been enjoying putting them together. But until then, take care, stay warm, and watch out there on the high seas for pirates and such. Good night.